Hello everyone, Clayton Lindley here, and I am coming at you guys with a very requested video. I get DMs all the time asking me to review my edit, all that stuff. So today I will be reviewing my edit, and this will probably be the last video we do about my web edit. I don't want people to think that I'm copying Ryan in any way by watching all my clip by clip and all that stuff. So I'm just gonna do it all in one video, so we just knock it out and we're done and over with it. And I'll explain a little bit about the tornado plan as well. Before we get into that, we have a couple more charcoal hats still for sale. They're like 10 bucks, and you can get those. And then we have charcoal and black lit shirts. Those are almost gone, so go snatch them at undialed.co if you want to get some merch. Foreshadowing into the future. I'm just gonna jump right into it. Figure that's the best way to do it. And if you guys haven't seen my edit, it'll be at the end of the video where you can go and watch it and all that good stuff. Let's hop right into it. All right, so going back to my web edit 1, Tanner Fox was actually nice enough to drop my web edit 1, and I feel like that actually helped me a lot to mainly get a lot of views and help get my name out there more. So I can't thank him enough. I've never actually thanked him on camera, so Tanner, thank you so much, man. You're the homie. And this is now my web edit 2 that I dropped when did I drop my first web edit? Was it 3 years ago? On December 8th, 2015 is when I dropped my first web edit, and everyone loved that. I tried to come back and like stick to my own style in this edit. I hope you enjoy it. All right, starting off. All right, so this first clip was actually filmed in Tijuana. I was out with Pepito, Will, and James Graham. And this clip actually took me a while to land. This clip actually took me a little while to land because whenever you go and do it, there was a curb that was about 6 inches to like a foot tall, and you had to jump over that from like this weird pathway. The pathway was here, and then there was like the little ledge. Then you had to go over it into this fat bank. I was super scared to fall on it because it's in Tijuana and God knows what's on the ground there. It took me a while to commit to it. I never really fell that hard. I kind of just like would hit it and not fully land into fakie, and it was really aggravating for everyone. So I just kept trying and trying and trying it, and then finally I did it and capped out really fast. My goal was to fakie longer. When you're going downhill into a bank, going backwards, you're gonna gain a lot of speed really fast. It's not the funnest time to just hold a fakie. I landed it, so I'm hyped about that. Yeah, then I mob out, all hype, whatever, throw my arms up, try not to go into the water, because there's actually water right there that I was trying not to slip and fall in. That was all like mossy and stuff. All this B-roll is basically from all the trips I've taken. The main stuff is from All Those Sports and Australia, when I was there last year for Pro Series. All right, so if you see this clip right here, it's one of the clips that kind of went all over the internet at one point. And I ended up I was doing a 1080, and I ended up falling off the side of the ramp, and I broke my hand, broke my groin. And yeah, that's all I have to say about that one, but I'll like play the clip at some point. This first opening clip, I guess like the actual opening clip, the Tijuana clip, I feel like doesn't really count all that much. It's like an opening clip. It's kind of just like a oh hey, I did that trick, all that good stuff. So with this opening clip, basically what gave me the idea for it is I had been trying Buttercup to cam plant to front flip in on quarters, and I tried it on the 10 foot in the BMX session at Claremont. I tried it on like this bank thing where in my web edit I did the first front flip cam plant. So I was trying to do like Buttercup cam plant front flip in, but I couldn't flip enough in order to get it around. So I figured that if I was rolling, so if I went up fakie, or I went up and then rolled back fakie, and then 180'd, or I guess 90, and then did a 90 land cam plant and then front flip, it'd make it a little bit easier because it'd give me like more momentum in order to land it. And it ended up working. There was a few times I landed like right here on my neck and just made big sweat stains, as you see in most of my Instagram clips and all that good stuff. And yeah, so basically I just thought it would work better because right when you land, it just gives you momentum, and then you just kind of like stay balled up. And that one, if you can see, so right here you can see that I actually land completely sideways. I landed like my butt back, leaning like really far back like that. So I'm actually really surprised I even landed it. And it's funny because there was plenty other ones that I landed wheels and they just looped out, but that one somehow worked. There's a lot of clips in this edit that were kind of the same way, that I have no idea how it worked, but it just ended up working somehow. And then at one point my scooter actually fell off the ramp and almost hit Mateo Larson in the ankles, but it was like this far from his feet. It was actually a pretty funny clip. So I land that. In this clip right here, when we went to Home Avenue Street Spot, which is just a big DIY spot in downtown San Diego on Home Avenue. Basically what makes this clip really meaningful to me is that this spot is super sketchy. Ground's really rough. The quarter's really rough because it's all handmade. So it's not gonna be a skate park quarter or anything like that. It was cool to me because I feel like doing a trick like this, a flare finger whip at a street spot just makes it cooler. Easily you can do it in a park because the park's made to do that, but this is like a super sketchy quarter with big pieces of rebar coming out of it all in the back. So it's like, I mean, the likelihood of you landing on the back side of the quarter is really, really slim. Having the rebarb sticking out of the quarter, I mean, it's not like you're gonna land on the back of the quarter and get impaled, but from a mental aspect, it makes it way more intimidating. You're going at the quarter and the ground's super rough from water rushing across it. Then you have to go up the sketchy quarter, then you have to pop just at the right spot because it's not smooth at all. And there's like pieces of concrete missing and stuff like that. So doing it on this quarter just means a lot because it's like I kind of overcame it, like the sketchy quarter, random street spot, and landed I guess a park trick on it. All right, moving on. So I land that. This clip. Okay, so Nick Tedrick, I hope you guys all know who Nick Tedrick is. So this clip was filmed in Brisbane, Australia at Ramp Attack during the Grit, I think it was Grit District in Phoenix. And we were having this tour and Nick Tedrick was along with us with Branson Smith because they were just trying to kick in Australia and hang out with everyone. One of our last stops was at Ramp Attack. And there's this big A-frame and I figured that I was in Australia, so I need to get a clip for my web edit. So my goal was to do double fast plant, which is where you plant 2 feet into the ground and then do a tail whip. So it was just gonna be a double fast plant tail whip and no one had ever done it. So I figured like, hey, like this is a perfect spot to do it. I go up, do front flip over, come back, do double fast plant over, and then come back, and after the double fast plant, I did whip and landed first try. So Nick was like, yo, like try double whip. So I started trying double whip, kept falling, and I kept getting closer. So after I was starting a lot closer and landing, but looping out and like falling over to my side and stuff, Nick told me, he's like, dude, you might as well do it in a line and just make it that much cooler. So we kind of like brainstormed and sat there for a little bit, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do 360 finger, and then I'm gonna come back and do double fast plant, double whip. So I landed it. I think it took like 7-8 tries, something like that. And that trick is so hard. It is so hard, you have no idea. Because how you do it, you have to take both feet off, you have to jump at the right time and then pull your scooter around and then when you pull your scooter around, you have to do a double whip and catch it without your scooter coming around and hitting you in the face. I've never gotten hit in the face, but I know some people that have tried it have gotten hit in the face. So just saying, it makes it a little bit more sketchy. So this doesn't really have to do with anything, but in me and Derek C's Kansas City video, which no one's seen it has like 1,500 views or something like that. It's kind of sad. But we spent our entire summer at a theme park last summer. This clip right here is of us going down one of the rides, a B-roll shot. So that's just something that's really cool to me because we went at 3 a.m. and rode down some rides, messed around all night. It was so cool. That experience was probably one of the coolest experiences, going there at 3 a.m. whenever you wanted to and ride a ramp and jump on trampolines till 5 a.m. And that's what we would do. Shout out Derek C. So this clip is a 360 triple bar, which is 360 bar, bar, bar. I'm not throwing the bar. This was filmed at Yap Skate Park in St. Louis, Missouri. This was at the same time when me and Derek were doing all those sports shows in Kansas City. St. Louis is like 4 hours away, so we would just do a day trip every now and then and go hang out there just to see something different, ride different skate parks because Kansas City is super, super hot and humid. And so another clip I got was, I think it was heel rewind double or triple or something like that. And this was like really sick. It's just a really, really fat gap and you have to jump into this sketchy quarter that's like super steep. And when you jump into it, you have to jump like 5 feet early because you're mobbing into it. So you'll be able to see right here, whenever I jump in, you have to like jump in and push down immediately in order to actually be able to get speed for it. So this clip was a seatbelt to Buttercup. A lot of people think it was a tire grab, but I actually reached over and grabbed like the front corner of my deck. After that, did Buttercup. The trick's really hard itself because you have to go and reach down, grab the deck, and then come back up and then throw a late Buttercup. And the late Buttercup was the hardest part because I kept doing umbrellas, or I'd do like a seatbelt to weird inward thing. You have to get the perfect flick, catch it right, and everything like that. But yeah, I tried it at Megazone when Megazone was still around, RIP again. And then I tried it I think I tried it somewhere else at Claremont, but I can't remember where I tried it exactly. Finally landed it up the ski jump and it took like 45 minutes on the ski jump, and I have no idea why, but that was just a cool little thing. Where it's paused right now is when me and Will went to San Francisco. Well, not San Francisco, we went to the Bay Area, film for my Welcome to Root Industries, and this gap is really sketchy. I'm about to play it, but what makes this gap really sketchy is that basically it was like these two vert quarters, right? And then it like comes out, it comes in like this and then humps out like as a nipple. So I had to jump from one corner of the nipple to the other corner of the nipple, but I did bar bri whip, and doing the bar bri whip over that, I just just kept landing flat. It was so aggravating. I just wish that when you film stuff, you can actually see how sketchy the places you're filming are. But to show the sketchiness of this clip, I feel like you would actually have to be there. This skate park is called McGinnis. McGinnis is in San Rafael, California, which is in the Bay Area. If you guys are in the area, I would recommend going there. That park is so crazy. It's like you'll never ride a skate. You'll never ride a skate park like it. I promise you. I feel like all the obstacles there are just super weird. Exactly like this spot. I drop in, go, barbed wire whip from over there, land kind of flat. This clip was also filmed in Australia and Gold Coast. It was right by one of the Scooter Hut stores. I don't know what skate park this is, but the skate park's tight. But the clips, basically, I do 180 whip bar, fakie, and then 360 butter down a set. The 360 butter took forever, and this took forever. And what's funny is that I did this when my finger was like exploded, because right before Pro Series, I couldn't compete last year in Pro Series, like the last stop in Pro Series, because we were go-karting at this drift go-kart place. Someone, I want to say names. I think I know who it was, but we were like mobbing around this corner in their drift carts. I was going around this corner and I got slammed into a wall. There was a person in front of me, so I got lodged under them, and then the go-kart landed on my hand and bent the steering wheel, and my finger got super swollen. I thought it was broken and it was like oozing. It was gross. Everyone went out that night, so I couldn't do anything. I was just stuck in the hotel for the entire night because I couldn't do anything because my finger was like swollen and throbbing. It sucked really bad. But the day that I finally was able to pop my finger, I know it's gross. We were at the skate park filming and I was so tired of not riding and it just hurting so bad. So I just grabbed my finger and just popped it. I have kind of a clip of it that Cam Ward was filming, but he wasn't focused on it. And so you can't really see exactly what happened. But I ended up popping it and having all this oozing stuff out. So this is right after I popped it and there was still like blood coming out of my finger. That clip means a lot to me because it was fairly painful to do this clip and I somehow landed it and rode away. So I come up, 180 whip bar, fakie, speed up, and then 3 butter down. And then this park was actually closed. We had gotten there. This was the day me and Will filmed our game of Scoot for the Volt. And then after our game of Scoot for the Volt, I was like, dude, I really want to get a clip over this gap. So when we went back, the park was closed because I guess it closed at like some ridiculous time. And I think it has lights too, so I don't know. But it closed while it was still daytime. So we were like, well, screw that. So we hopped the fence, get over there. Will, I think, got some Instagram clips. Set up. I went, tried it a couple times, ate some crap, ended up landing it, and then we just mobbed out of there. It was actually a whip front whip. A lot of people think it was a Buttercup, but it was whip front whip. I just do my whip front whips with my hand, like right here, so it just kind of looks like a Buttercup. It was a whip front scoot whip, so it wasn't a Buttercup, it was just whip front scoot whip. So we hop the fence, come over there, stick that hoe, come around, high five, hype. Next clip, obviously. This clip, me and Will actually went to Ronca to have a private session. We were gonna film for our Christmas video. We were gonna do like a really cool Christmas video. That was our whole goal, and we were gonna do, I actually can't remember what we were gonna do, but we were gonna do something like really cool, but one of our lights ended up going out, so we had to use 2 of the lights that we're using now, so we didn't really get as much light as we wanted. We ended up just filming some clips. We still have clips that we haven't even uploaded yet, and maybe someday we'll upload them. I don't know what we're gonna do with them. But so this was a private session. This was like, we had filmed the night before for the video, and then the light went out and that broke, so we were like really pissed off, so we just left. And then the next day we drove to Woodward from Bakersfield, which is in about 45 minutes to an hour away, and then stayed at Woodward for like 8 hours, drove back at like 8 or 9, came back and filmed this. So we were just completely exhausted. Like, we were so drained. It was ridiculous. We were like, had no energy. We couldn't do anything. We were just getting so upset because we couldn't land anything. So we finally like finished all the clips. I think it was like midnight or something. And it was a 3-hour drive back to Escondido, where we live, which is like right outside of San Diego. And Will's like, dude, you just want to head back? I was like, I mean, I guess. So we stop at In-N-Out and we just send it. We ended up getting back at like 3:30 a.m. and we were just so dead, but we were so hyped to be home because it just took, that was the longest day. I swear, it sucked so bad. Will's behind the camera right now just going like, oh my God, I remember how much that sucked. Yeah. But yeah, so I do truck and then land and then do a double finger, and that took way too long. Dear God, it took... Yeah, and I fell off the ramp like 3 times because I couldn't see anything because it was pitch black. Okay, moving on. Back to the old Claremont setup. This right here, I tried it forever and it was super hot, and that's back when I didn't wear like any pads at all. So when I landed on one of them, I landed and burnt a huge hole through my pants. and my underwear, and it got all the way down to my raw butt. I kept trying it, and I kept burning my butt, so I had like a big burn, like this big. It sucked to sleep for like the next week after this clip. I landed it, so I'm hyped. So I come up, inverted hand plant. I love how that looks. This clip, Aaron Hill filmed. If you don't know who Aaron Hill is, he does double a video. He's a great filmer. So he filmed it with a Steadicam, but he didn't turn his mic on, so the clip doesn't have any audio, which really sucks. But this clip was filmed at the Chino Hills Skate Park, which is where Nationals has been for 2 years in a row. There's a set, so like the skate park's here, right? And then you come over and there's like these 4 blocks with these baseball fields. So if you ever go to Chino and you want to ride a sick 4 block, go here because it's really nice. This clip was right before I went to Kansas City for all those sports shows, and I wasn't competing at Nationals. I was going to be gone in Kansas City all summer doing shows, so it was pointless for me to even try to go to Barcelona because I wouldn't even be able to go in the first place. Well, I could go, but I'd rather make money than go to Barcelona, you know what I mean? But this clip is right when I first learned front flips flat. Literally landed, I think, maybe 4. In this clip is when I kind of figured out that I could do them well. I did this clip, I think I tried it like 8 times, and I did the front flip every single time. I think I didn't land the front flip once. I did the front flip every time, and I was like, oh my god, like I can do this really well. And then the 720 was the hardest part because 720 down a set isn't the easiest thing. Front flip flat, land, and then 720 down the set, and then got some kangaroos. In this clip, no one understands it, and I don't think anyone ever will because I feel like I'm the only one that really does cam plant tricks. Doing a whip finger to cam plant. Doing cam plant tricks, a lot of people don't necessarily understand how hard it is because going into a trick like this, there's 6 steps to go into it. You have to whip, you have to hit the finger, you have to catch it, and then right when you catch it, your foot has to go over the deck and then slam into the ground at the right spot. And then once you do that, you have to 270, right? So that's 5, and then bar spin. All those things happening at one time just messes with my head, at least. It just makes it hard because a lot of people probably think that this trick is really easy for me, but this took probably an hour and a half to land. It was actually at my local Escondido skate park, and I was working at the time when I did this. I have a staff shirt on in the clip. Whenever I'm riding away, you can see the staff shirt. Right now, you can see like the Escondido thing from when I used to work there. Clip took forever. I've always wanted to do something like this. Super technical, and I feel like I'm not really a techie type of rider, so this is like my version of riding tech. This clip was, I actually really like this clip. I love how it looks. I loved how it felt, but it just took forever, and it was really aggravating because I just couldn't either hit the finger or I just couldn't get my foot across and slam into the ground. So cam plant tricks are really hard. If you guys didn't understand that, this is difficult. All right, so I come up, whip fing, cam plant, 270 bar. I was hyped on that. So this clip right here, I've never done anything over double down heel, really, ever. I've done 1 360 triple down heel, and that I died every single time I tried it, but then I somehow landed it. So me doing a triple down heel here at Carmel Valley Skate Park in San Diego, it just took forever. It'd be terrible at heel whips. I haven't really been doing heel whips for that long because I never really learned them, exactly like bar spins. I'm kind of just now learning how to do late bar spins and bar spin combos because I had never really done it when I lived in Texas because I don't know, I just never wanted to take my hands off because it was massive ramps and concrete and I didn't want to fall. But yeah, this took about like an hour to land, maybe. So I'm hyped. I'm really hyped on this clip. Yeah, so I come in, land, and then triple down heel. This was in Grand Prairie, Texas when I was there for this year's ISA contest. Blake Fournier was nice enough to film this for me at Alliance Skate Park. This clip really didn't take too long. I just wanted something that was up a gap that no one had ever done on a scooter, which I think a couple people have done things up this gap, but I did heel finger. So I did heel whip, catch, and then hit the finger. It's not a heel Superman whip. It's a heel finger because I didn't extend it. If I extended it, it'd be a Superman. Come up, I do the trick. This is a street mega ramp that you might have seen in Vincent Cutterna's This Is What I Do video that came out like 3 years ago now. And it's probably like a 10, 15 foot gap, pretty fat. And it's really mellow, a mellow bank to just a sidewalk. The entire time we were doing it, Joel Kamakani was out trying to make sure no cars were gonna hit me. And I almost got hit like 2 or 3 cars. And so I was getting really aggravated at him, but I ended up landing it and it was a double whip bar. And I think some other people tried it. I know Michael Knott was trying some stuff, and then I think Joel tried to jump at one, but he like wasn't about it. But this spot is really sick. It's over by Carmel Valley Skate Park. This clip in general probably took 20, 30 minutes to land, something like that, because you had to hike back up every time you fell, and then you had to wait for the cars and all that stuff, and it just took forever. This clip I'm really hyped on. I always wanted to get a clip over this spot. So come up, and then double bar, hyped. Ryan Williams local, and this is Ryan Williams local. If you don't know who Ryan is, then you're living under a rock because Ryan is insane. As a fellow scooter rider, of course I wanted to get a clip at Ryan's local because that's just a must, you know. This clip was a front flip whip 180 cam plant that then I drop back in, turn around and do flare, heel rewind, triple. So I do heel whip and then kick it back and do 3 tail whips the other. It's not, a lot of people thought it was just a triple whip, but it's heel rewind, triple. And I landed it super sketch, but I don't really care. I was really hyped and it took forever. Russo was nice enough to film this for me. At the park, do front flip 180 cam plant, come back, and then flare, heel rewind, triple. This is back at my old local skate park in Amarillo, Texas. I wanted to do this clip for a while, and in Amarillo, I felt like this was the perfect spot. This was still when I was back on grit. The only other person that I've really seen do double fast plant front flips is Corey Funk. I beat you to it, Corey. I'm sorry. So this is double fast plant flat. So I come up, plant both feet, front flip. When I land, the head tube actually bent back like that. So my bars were sitting in my lap as I was riding away. And this was, I fell once trying it and then I landed it second try. So I don't know how, but I landed it second try. I'm really hyped on it. This trick is just basically all muscle and it's super, super hard. Just hyped that I landed it because that was the second deck I'd broken in 2 days. I'd broken another deck the day before on a front flip. So right away, and this is a downside front scoot over this really sketchy gap at my old local, same spot. I really ate some crap on this trick, I will say. I got pretty wrecked. It might not look that gnarly, but I got pretty wrecked, I will say. So Dylan Morrison beat me to this trick, and this is another clip that is from Calundra at Ryan Williams Local. I think I tried this about 5 or 6 times and landed it. I don't know how I landed it in that like minimum of tries. Dylan Morrison actually did this before me, so I was the second person to ever do this trick, which I'm kind of bummed about, but I really don't care because this trick's really hard and me and Dylan are the only 2 people that can do it in the world. And I'm hyped that I did it at Ryan's Local, so I actually have a very meaningful trick to me because that trick felt so sick, so sick. It's a flare triple finger whip. So I go up and hit the deck and then do 3 tail whips. Flare triple fang, have some cinematics. This actually says last USA exit. I don't know if you can see that. This clip is also in Tijuana. I did front scoot. So when I did the front scoot, there's just like a really weird gap. You had to drop into a quarter and it was, it's a front scoot. It's kind of like a filler clip, but the clip did look really cool. So I'm really hyped on how Will filmed it. Will filmed most of this edit, so thanks, Will. This is at Pkwy. This gap is also very sketchy. You have to like go off the side of this spine and then land into this sketchy bank. It took me probably 45 minutes to an hour to land this trick. Derek Marr filmed it for me at Rancho Penasquitas. I don't know how to pronounce it, but RPQ in San Diego. It's Vincent Cudino's local. I would recommend going there as well if you are in the San Diego area because that park is amazing. It is one of the best parks in the world. Yeah, there's not really much to say about this clip, but I landed it. So land that, come around. This is in Albuquerque, New Mexico when me and Will were coming back from Amarillo, Texas. When we were in Texas we went to Woodward, Vegas, Texas, and then came back through Albuquerque, went to Cryptic and stuff like that. So if you guys saw the Cryptic video, this is right before I went and filmed the Cryptic video. And it was a 180 finger down a pretty big 3 block and I kind of wrecked on it. My scooter flew over 30 feet and it almost hit these skaters, which was kind of funny. Yeah, I'm actually really hyped on this clip too. So 180 finger, land. I barely landed it. When I landed, I was like backing, I was like trying to hold it and not fall. All this B-roll right here is from Barcelona because I really wanted to film in Barcelona, but I wasn't able to because my shoulder was separated or my collarbone isn't connected to my shoulder anymore. Sucks, and I'm probably gonna separate it again. B-roll's us being crazy and dancing and doing all the stuff. If you saw the Undialed in Barcelona, a lot of the clips are taken from that because it was like really meaningful to me. I actually edited this entire video. So basically how I like to edit my videos, I personally love editing my web edits. I don't really care about my other videos, but my web edits I feel like are way more personal. Shows everything you did and everything you went through to get a clip. I feel like having all this B-roll in is really meaningful to me because it's like a lot of memories I made, a lot of friends I made. Like when I go back and watch the video, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that. I remember this happened when that happened, all this stuff. Honestly, I could make this video about 3 hours long and I could go frame by frame. I could explain to you like an entire story. And this is me power sliding through some leaves in Barcelona. So this next clip is finger whip, back lip, double whip that I landed at Pkwy skate park. This clip, I had wanted to get a backlip clip for a while, so this is like around the time when I started really trying to push my back lips. Somehow landed it. I don't know how long it took, but it definitely took a while. I just kept sticking. I'm just hyped I landed it. So power slide and then finger whip, back lip, double whip. This next clip took forever. Sean Williams filmed for me. It was back lip Buttercup and I got pretty wrecked on this. I tried it at Pkwy for like 2 hours and couldn't land it. At Woodward, I found the perfect spot and ended up sending it and trying it, and that took like another hour and a half. I landed it and sadly it doesn't have any audio because I think it was 240 frames per second on Sean's camera. So bar, back lip, Buttercup, And I don't think that's ever been done, so I think that's a worldie as well. Me looking sexy at all those sports shows. Next clip is a 360 butter into skater cross. Like every time I get a clip, I like start editing it and start putting it in the timeline. So I had really been editing this video for like a year, and not like the whole thing, but like clip by clip, putting it together and syncing the audio and stuff like that. Whenever I did, I just needed one more clip, and I've been wanting to do this for a while, either that or another trick, but I'm not gonna announce what trick that is, because I'm probably gonna do it for Web Edit 3. I really like this clip because I like the way Buttercups feel. I like how the way Buttercups look. If you watch my first Web Edit, it filled with Buttercups because it's just a really good looking trick, and I wanted to put that trick as far as it can go. That's why I did it to a mega ramp, and that's why I tried it with the 270, which I'm never gonna do again. Screw that, it hurt really bad. Not down. Hopefully this makes all you guys that wanted the 270 Buttercup a little bit more happy. Did it into the skater cross, which is about half the size of the mega ramp quarter. Not nearly as scary as the mega ramp quarter. I think it's cool that I went straight into it and did it. Shout out to Will for filming. It took God knows how long. It took like 2 hours, 2.5 hours maybe. I don't give Will enough credit for filming my videos. I know I say a lot about Will, but he honestly is like the biggest help with my edits. Even if he's aggravated with filming me, he still films me, and so that's like really sick. So thank you, Will. Thought I'd let you know. All right, so 360 butter, stuck it. I don't know how I landed that. That's another trick I don't know how I landed. I don't know how I landed it. There was more attempts I did that I was way closer, like way closer to landing it than that. And then I just was riding away. I don't know. I don't understand. Now, the tornado plan, the one that you guys asked me all about. With this trick, I've been trying it, like I said at the very beginning of the video, I've been trying Buttercup cam plant front flip in on different quarters. I'd also been trying this trick on different quarters, and I just didn't have enough airtime. So I figured that if I had the biggest ramp in the world, I think I'd been trying this trick specifically for about 2 or 3 years. So right after my web edit, I was actually wanting to do this on the place where I did the front flip cam plant at the end of my web edit 1. I wanted this trick so bad. I tried it everywhere. I tried it Buttercup. I tried it like finger whip. I tried it like every way to do front flip in. I just could not get enough airtime. 2 years ago, I mentioned it to some people, and they were like, "Oh yeah, ha ha ha, you're funny. You're not gonna do that." I was like, you know what? I'm also gonna do it. And 6 weeks before we were gonna go to Woodward, I decided I'm definitely gonna do it. I had 6 weeks of like preparing for it. I feel like that's the hardest part, is mentally preparing for something like this. Is something that it's not just your normal skate park trick. It's not a trick you just go out and do. It's like you literally have to like mentally prepare for it. You have to go into it thinking, I can land this. You can't have any doubts. Of course you're scared. Honestly, like I was hyperventilating when I was trying it. And same thing with the 270 Buttercup. I was hyperventilating when I was trying it because I was so scared, but I knew that if I didn't do it, I would just hate myself. So I got up there, and I think it was like 20 minutes while we were there. I was like, you know what, screw it. I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna get it over with. We were actually waiting for medics to come. We were waiting for the trainers to come. So if anything were to happen, I don't know, like maybe I slice my arm open or get knocked out or something like that, like in the 270 butter. For some reason, they didn't have any trainers. So they were like, hey, like we're not gonna have any trainers, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, if you still wanna do it, can, but we're not gonna have any trainers. So if anything goes wrong, you will have to wait for like an ambulance to come. So you know, screw it, yeah, I'm gonna do it. So I get up there, and I think it took about 2.5 hours fully do with all the attempts. And I was constantly going, constantly. I like didn't stop. I took a few breaks for water. They literally bought whole package of water for everyone that was there. It was such a cool experience because everyone was there, like all my friends. There was Dylan Morrison, Barzy, Cody Flom, Derek Marr, Will filmed it, John Cross, Sean Williams. Sorry if I'm not mentioning everyone, but that's just like everyone I'm gonna mention right now. Like everyone was there, and it was like everyone was motivating me. Everyone was super hyped, and it was like such a cool experience because I feel like that doesn't happen enough in scootering. So me getting to have all my friends witness me trying this, and having my friends there to support me and being like, yo dude, like you got this, like blah blah blah, like hey, like this is what you need to do better, you need to do this different, stuff like that really helped me. And like, oh, and Chris Ferris was a huge help, so thank you, Chris. But going into this trick, it was something that I've been wanting to do for a while. I mean, obviously there's a lot more to it, especially when I fell back into the ramp. I just didn't go out far enough. Landing this trick was probably the best feeling I've ever had, and I'm not sure how I landed it, but I did. So I did front flip 180, cam plant, front flip in, and this ramp is 28.5 feet tall, so it's basically 3 stories tall. Boom, boom. And it's funny, whenever I landed it, as I was like all the other attempts, I had like hit my knuckles, didn't flip fast enough, and just knew I wasn't gonna land it. And when I did that, I did the front flip 180, landed, and then front flipped in. I didn't hit my head that time. A lot of people think I hit my head, but I actually didn't hit my head on that like specific attempt when I landed it. I actually switched over to the tornado plant video. There's a whole entire video about all the attempts, so if you guys want to go watch it, you can. But lastly, I just want to say, like, I like completely lost my train of thought. I don't know what I was saying before, but I just want you guys to know that if there's anything that don't feel like you can overcome in life, like, I know it's a scooter trick, but I feel like even if you're having a bad time, you can always fight through it. It might be hard at the time. It's exactly like when I'm up on top of that ramp and I'm scaring myself to death for fun, hurting myself for fun. No matter what, in that moment, I was thinking like, damn, this really sucks. Like, this is awful. I'm not gonna land this, blah, blah, blah. But I kept fighting it and finally landed it. And I just want you guys to know, no matter what, whether it's a trick or something that you're going through in life, don't worry, it will be over. And as long as you keep trying, keep pushing yourself to do that, I promise you'll succeed at anything you do. If you guys have any more questions about the tornado plant or a specific trick, please contact me, DM me. I try to read all my DMs. I might not get back to you. I'm really busy. I will try my hardest to get back to you. So if there's anything that you guys want to know about a specific trick, please hit me up. I'm glad to tell you all about what happened. That's something that's really meaningful to me. Thank you guys for watching. I don't know how long this video is going to be. I hope you sat all the way through it. If you sat through it, I love you. And thank you so much for supporting Undialed. It's been a long road. We've had Undialed for almost a year now. At least the Instagram we've had for a year. So far, it's going well. In a week, I'm going to be in Gold Coast, Australia for a week, and then coming back, and then we start our European tour. So in 2 weeks, Will and I will be in Denmark starting our tour. But make sure you guys come see us. We'll have all the dates listed soon. So I hope you guys have a great day. I don't know, if you guys go and ride a skate park, hashtag Undialed, and we might post it if it's tight. So I think that's all I have to say. Peace.